I want you guys to take a look at this stat up here. For sale by owner homes tend to sell for an average of 30% less than comparable homes listed on the MLS. Now, according to the National Association of Realtors, for sale by owner homes account for about 6% of all home sales in the United States. Now, it also says that on average, for sale by owner properties sell for $55,000 less than the comparable properties in the neighborhood. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, I talk to for sale by owner property owners all the time. And just today, I spoke with an owner, a seller, who was selling his property for $350,000. And I asked him, how much did you get in an offer? Like, how much were they offering you? Because he said he received an offer and he was about to accept it. And he said the price that they offered him on this property was less than what he would have paid off for closing costs and for realtors. And so when I asked him, I said, okay, so you did all of this work and you still ended up getting paid what you would have been paid if you had a realtor. and I said, why didn't you just go ahead and use a realtor? Why didn't you just use a realtor for this sale? It's a lot less stress, a lot less hassle, a lot less work with marketing. Like, all of the work will be done for you, except now you're paying a realtor. And he says to me, well, why would I pay a realtor when all the marketing has already been done? But here's the thing. The marketing with for sale by owners is simply Zillow, Realtor.com, the basic websites where people who don't have a realtor will typically see. Because if somebody is serious about purchasing a home, 9 times out of 10, they are going to have a realtor working with them. And if they have a realtor working with them, the realtor is going to be checking the MLS for properties. They're not going to be checking Zillow for sale by owner properties unless the MLS does not have anything that the buyer wants and the buyer is not able to find something that they like. And listen, I know we are in 2025. We're in the day and age where technology gives us the ability to do things on our own we wouldn't have otherwise been able to do. However, you need to also understand the risks that come with being a for sale by owner seller versus actually having a realtor by your side. First things first, I always see incorrect pricing. I get it. It's your home. You've lived in it. This is your pride and joy. And you believe that it's worth $1 million. However, the comparable properties in your neighborhood says otherwise. It's telling you that your house is actually worth $500,000, but you were so adamant about selling your home for $1 million because you truly believe that you have $1 million home. And listen, I'm telling you, I'm not going to take away from that. I'm not saying your home is not worth $1 million. I'm just saying that a lot of people are not going to be willing to pay $1 million for your home when all the other properties in the neighborhood are worth a lot less than that. I have also briefly talked about the MLS listing giving more exposure to the property, which is true. You're going to get significantly more exposure to the property with an MLS listing. However, I have seen people get offers on their home. Most of the time it's by investors who are lowballing them. You list your house for $500,000 and they're saying, hey, I'm going to give you $250,000 for your home. They're going to lowball you. You're going to get a lot of investors. You're going to get a lot of cash offers that way. If you're looking for those type of offers, then hey, do what you got to do. But you're going to get a lot of lowball offers, right? And a lot of times I also hear some for sale by owner sellers who say that they close on their property with a higher than listed, right? Whoever purchased the property paid more than what the house was listed for. And 9 times out of 10, it's probably because your home was underpriced. Your home was probably underpriced. I'm sorry. You probably did not price your home right. Because especially in a market like this, in this economy right now, I just don't see anyone paying more than asking in this economy. Another thing is qualifying the buyer. Do you know how to qualify the buyer? If you are selling for sale by owner, I would definitely suggest that you go on Google or ChatGPT and figure out how to qualify a buyer before you actually accept an offer, how to weigh offers. Like, if you have multiple different offers, which offer is better, like due diligence periods, and all these things, like how to read a contract. We as realtors, we have to take classes on how to read contracts. Like, contracts, we have to understand what the contract says. Do you know how to read a contract? Another thing, and very, very, very major thing, is errors and omissions. So if there are things on that contract that are omitted, that you did not include in the contract, that the buyer needs to know, you literally can get sued by the buyer because you omitted something, or you said something on the contract that was false, and you probably didn't even know it was false. You could get sued for these things. And I'm not saying realtors don't get sued either, but we have something to protect us. We have insurance, okay? We have E&O insurance, and we have arbitration. If you're a realtor, there are things that we have to protect us from these things happening to us. Now, I mentioned price. I mentioned being overpriced, right? But you put your house for $1 million is worth $500,000. Let's say you do find a buyer that wants this $1 million house. I'm willing to pay $1 million for this house. Guess what? If they're getting finance and they're not paying cash and they are going through financing, guess what? They're going to have to get an appraisal. And when they get an appraisal and the appraisal comes back that the property is worth less than it is listed for, that deal is already squandered. The deal is no longer on the table anymore because the price is overvalued. Now, if you go on Zillow right now and you look at for sale by owner properties, you will see that most of them have been sitting on the market for longer than 60 days, 90 days. They will just be sitting there. And it's because of improper marketing. It's because, they're like, you will see some for sale by owner property listings, and you can tell, like, okay, this property is probably not going to sell because this, and this. Like, you can see the errors, the simple things that can be changed that will prevent the right person from seeing the property. Even the pricing is so significant in finding you the right buyer. But if you're overpricing the house, you're going to price yourself out of the market. Research shows that most lawsuits that happen with home sales typically happen with individuals, buyers or sellers, who don't use a realtor for their purchase. It also shows that homes that are for sale by owner sell for way less than what they are worth. And so I get it. You want to skip out on paying a realtor, but yeah, you're not going to pay a realtor, but you're going to pay for it in terms of your house sitting on the market for longer, right? And so you're still paying mortgage on the house if you're still financing it, you're still paying mortgage on the house, and then you might have to lower the price because it's sitting on the market for too long, and then you're gonna get all these offers that is less than what you asked for. As opposed to, yes, listing it on the MLS does not mean that these things are not gonna happen, but it is less likely to happen if you have a great realtor on your side. If your realtor actually priced the home right, if you agree to the price, because some sellers are pretty stubborn. They do not want to lower the price of the home, and it ends up biting them in the butt later on because now the house is sitting on the market for longer. You're paying mortgage on this house, and all this money that you're paying in mortgage, you could have just paid a realtor, get this home sold, and kept it moving. So I want to know what your opinions are, because I do know when I speak to for sale by owner sellers, they have a problem with realtors because they think that realtors are really shady. And trust me, I've seen it before. I'm not taking away from your thoughts about realtors, but I would really love to know what your thoughts are about why for sale by owner sellers do not like to list with realtors.